Hi everybody, this is the podcast related to eating disorders. I'm going to a Bruins game in a little while, that's why I'm wearing this shirt. Alright, so we're going to begin in the context of normative development, as we often do, talking about some developmental tasks and issues related to eating and body image in childhood and adolescence. So some aspects that we can pull from normal development. 1 in 4 kids under 12 are defined as picky eaters. Certainly not all picky eaters go on to have eating disorders, but there's a link there that is being explored. By age 9, girls are more anxious about weight than boys. So why are girls weight conscious? Here's a few different reasons. Societal norms about appearance for girls, a media focus on thinness and attractiveness, which I'm sure you're all aware of. These normal concerns that girls might face can be either magnified, exaggerated, made worse, or minified, become, to be less of a problem by comments of parents, friends, and partners. So parents, friends, romantic partners that are making comments about someone's appearance or weight can take what would be a normal concern over the way you look and turn it into something problematic. Another factor is we know that there's significant weight gain that happens as a result of puberty. It happens for males and it happens for females. Females gain about 38 pounds during the adolescent period. Males gain about 50 pounds, but what's interesting here is that women gain that 38 pounds, and that is associated with an increase in body fat. For boys, they gain that 50 pounds, but it's actually associated with a reduction in body fat, and they're building more muscle mass, again, triggered by puberty. Let's see, what can I tell you? Also, the intersection of dating, right? So you have this weight gain and these bodies changing in adolescence, and then you also insert a desire to have romantic relationships and sort of the onset of dating around that age as well, and that combination sort of raises the stakes. In females, there's a heavier association between weight and lower popularity, okay? However, it's not associated with lower likability. So individual females who have a heavier weight do have successful friendships, but in terms of peer reports of popularity, more popular girls tend to be girls who are at lower weights. Okay. All right, we're going to define some other terms here, excuse me. Body satisfaction. Body satisfaction is a term that describes the degree of acceptance or how pleased someone is with their appearance. Concerns about body image begin in elementary school, 1st, 2nd grade, but they get strong in the range of 5th to 8th grade, those concerns about body image. Body dissatisfaction increases are observed in early adolescence, so that's where we're really seeing a spike in this. Females are more preoccupied with appearance and weight than males are, and girls who are underweight are more satisfied than girls who are average or overweight in terms of self-report. How satisfied are you with your body image? Girls who are underweight actually report the highest levels of satisfaction, which is an indicator of some of the social pressures that exist for women related to body image. So let's talk a little bit more about media exposure. 2 primary mechanisms by which media exposure can exacerbate these eating disorders. First, media exposure normalizes dieting and excessive thinness. And second, it encourages young people to continually evaluate their bodies and engage in extreme dieting, overeating, and other health compromising behaviors. So it normalizes it, and then it encourages particularly young women to then check themselves related to this standard that is shown in the media and to constantly evaluate where they are and how they stack up. In one study, the quote came up, the media exposure reinforces unhealthy body image among vulnerable women, right? So we see that kind of nature-nurture interaction there. So there's going to be women who are more susceptible to the messaging that comes out in the media than others. All right. So now we're going to move on to talking about 3 specific eating disorders. They're in the class of feeding and eating disorders that we see in the DSM-5. We've talked about some feeding disorders. These were things like pica and rumination. So now some of the other disorders. Anorexia nervosa, I'm sure you've heard of it, so let me tell you some of the DSM criteria. A, restriction of energy or food intake relative to the requirements, leading to significant low weight in the context of age, sex, or developmental trajectory. Typically, this entails someone's refusal to maintain a normal body weight. They don't take in the energy needed to maintain a healthy or normal body weight for their age, sex, and developmental trajectory. B, an intense fear of gaining weight or getting fat. C, disturbance in the individual's perception and experiences of his or her own size. For example, a lack of recognizing how serious it is that you're at an extremely low current body weight. And there's two different subtypes of anorexia. The restricting subtype, where the person seeks weight loss through diet, fasting, or excessive exercise. Or the binge eating purging subtype. So they eat less, so binging we'll talk more about in a second, but they eat less food and purge more consistently and thoroughly than bulimia. So it still is distinguishable from bulimia, because with bulimia, they're consuming large quantities of food. On the binge eating purging subtype of anorexia nervosa, they're never really taking in huge amounts of food, and there's kind of more purging than actual binging. Okay, and where am I here? Now bulimia. Bulimia nervosa, recurrent episodes of binge eating, and we'll define binge eating here. Eating in a discrete period of time, like one sitting or in a 2-hour period, an amount of food that is larger than most would eat during a similar time or context, significantly larger. Another hallmark of binge eating, a sense of a lack of control over the eating. You can't seem to stop. You open the package of Oreos and you don't eat 2, you eat the entire package and you don't seem to feel like you have control over whether you can stop. B, so in addition to the binge eating, that goes hand in hand with recurrent compensatory or compensatory behavior to prevent weight gain. So in other words, you do things to compensate for the fact that you're taking in so much energy, right? So it's not that you're binge eating so much and gaining and gaining and gaining. You are binge eating, but then you do something to compensate for that so that you won't actually gain weight. So to prevent the weight gain, these are things like inducing vomiting, taking laxatives, taking diuretics, giving yourself enemas, fasting, or excessive exercise. C criteria, A and B need to occur at least 1 time per week for a period of 3 months. D, self-evaluation is unduly influenced by body shape or weight. That means your self-concept has a huge proportion of your body image is rolled into your self-concept. So an unduly influenced, over-influenced by your body image. And E, the disturbance does not occur exclusively during episodes of anorexia. It needs to be outside of the context of anorexia to have this unique diagnosis. Okay.